guess my first question to you is, what do you hope to see from the blockchain space before the end of 2019? Can someone hand a microphone?
So I think probably the biggest elephant in the room in the blockchain space at this point that I keep repeating is the kind of very high ratio of hype to actual use cases. So basically, like outside of cryptocurrency, and even including cryptocurrency, the amount of actual kind of sustainable productive usage of blockchains is realistically still fairly low, right? Like, it definitely exists. Like, there's definitely a lot of people, including myself, who gain value from things like cryptocurrencies that they would not be able to get otherwise. And there's definitely a few people starting to use other blockchain applications, like even the various decentralized Twitters have users and so forth. But like, just the amount of actually useful stuff happening is still much lower than the $200 billion market caps make it seem, right? And so the main challenge for the industry as I see it is basically, how do we bridge that gap and get to the point where there is $200 million in some sense of actual final value being generated for people that, you know, these crazy market caps seem to be predicting. And I think if we want to get there, there's basically two problems that need to be solved, right? Like, one of them is actually coming up with the use cases. And the second, also very important one, is improving the underlying technology itself to the point where it's actually ready for those use cases, right? Like, today, for example, you know, like, transaction fees spike up and down anywhere from, you know, like 2 cents to $2, which may be okay for like large international payments, but it's definitely not the sort of thing that people would be willing to accept for like Twitter on the blockchain or whatever. The state of privacy on the blockchain. Right now, everything you shove onto a blockchain is completely public. There aren't really good ways to use the blockchain while preserving privacy. And there are a lot of really good research efforts that are starting to happen to try to solve that problem. Like, for example, Zcash has been making a lot of progress recently. There's been research on top of Ethereum. There's been like ring signature-based mixers. There have been ZK snark use cases and other things. But no, there's still quite a bit of a way to go. Another third really big category is user experience, and particularly user experience and user-side security. So basically, how do people, like, and regular people, use wallets in a way where it's easy to use and where it's not easy to screw up? And I think that's still something where we've probably made less progress than we've wanted to make over the last couple of years, and it's something where the entire industry really needs to pick up.